Hey Internet. I think this will be the last of the Hazard collection. And boy, I think we might be saving the best for last. What the heck do we have here? Dun, dun, dun. Stupid winter weather and dry skin, sorry about that. What is it? What is it? Well, while we're waiting for it to stop spinning, he sent me a bunch of spinners, one of which he wanted me to do a little custom work on. And you know me, I like customizing my spinners. So we went at it. We got ourselves a little hammered. You know what that means. Oh boy. So I should say as well, do I have my hammer nearby? I don't think I do. I went and polished the back of the hammer, and it makes quite a difference. Like, look how, like I didn't really polish this here. That's just how shiny it looks when you hit it with a polished hammer. You know, the hammer is so smooth, it puts really smooth marks in there, so look at that. And then we went to the edges and we brass blacked everything except the faces, and then I hit it with my jewelry cloth. And it kind of took the corners, just the edges off, so it's kind of looked a nice little antique look. And then clearly you can see I did a similar thing with the old Kraken buttons. Now these Kraken buttons are not for Jack Hazard. I just love how they look on there. So this is how it's getting reviewed. He sent it with, I think, well, these are definitely full throttle buttons. I don't know what these are, I'll be honest. They're aluminum, and they're what I was spinning and playing around with it. But they're not the, we'll leave them in frame since they're relevant here. But they're not the buttons that we're gonna use to review it here, because this just looks too good. I mean, let's just take it in. Let's just bring it in all its goodness. Let's bring the light up here a little bit. Could bring this light over. There we go. Lovely, lovely, lovely. You're breathing it in, Internet. Deep breaths. Deep breaths. I've done a lot of cleaning today too, so my hands are extra dry. You know what happens when you're hitting them up with all the soap and the cleaners and stuff like that. So really, really nice. So let's talk about the spinner itself though. So we talked about it a little bit with the copper that I had from the old Rommel collection. And you know, this is going to be a very similar review, but since I've done some custom work on it now, just absolutely love this. We've got a Heck SBV2 in there, and that is like the perfect bearing for this, I think. I didn't test the vertical spin time, and to be honest, I'm not going to take the time to do it before I upload it. We're probably getting the neighborhood of about 7 minutes. I got just over 5 on a table spin. And this guy really isn't about spin time, especially when you start throwing other bearings in it, which I think at one point Full Throttle was shipping with Heck super bearings, and then I think someone was saying no, they're not anymore, and then I'm not 100% sure where it's at right now, but either way, it's easy enough to throw it in there. Now, it was a glued bearing that was in there. There was a one drop that Jack sent it to me with, and we popped that out to do this custom work, and then I threw the Heck bearing in there, and the one that was in there was definitely glued in, and when I went to put the one drop back in just to test the spin a little bit, it pushed in but was a little loose, but when I put the Heck bearing in, it went in like a press fit. So I didn't have to glue it a second time, and it's really in there, so that's kind of nice. So it's easy enough to switch bearings out on these guys. And even if you got to glue them, not a big deal. Maybe get yourself a bearing tool from True Spin. They sell these guys. He made me this one special, which you can probably email and ask the guy. He's pretty open to that sort of thing. His bearings are just slightly off center, so it normally has a little lip to match his bearings, but he sent me one that was basically machined flat. So reach out to the guy. He's pretty good. I know I think his website still says US only, but if you email him, it seems like anybody who's asked and reached out, he's, you know, for these guys, the True Spin, it's not what we're talking about, but he'll send them out international to you, so from what I can see. Anyway, spin on this guy is absolutely wonderful. We must be balanced. I didn't check it, to be honest. Off a little bit. I find that with the softer metals, you see that a lot more. Like stainless steel, I find tends to be a lot more balanced than brass. And to be honest, I've been hammering on it. Now, hammering doesn't really take any mass away from it, but it could have maybe in some way affected the balance. I'm not sure. Altering the density just enough, but it's pretty close. It feels completely smooth. How's that for a trick, Jack? The one finger octo squid kraken grip. Fantastic spinner though. These smoothies are where it's at. These mini smoothies. They don't make a larger smoothie in the Sanitarium like we've got here, but I'm pretty sure in the Asylum they make a larger smoothie, and I don't know. I don't know if I would want that. I think this smaller size is just great. You know, the finger grooves, you know, same as with the copper one, perfect for flicking out, perfect for pulling in, getting your preloaded flicks with these nice generous chamfers on the outside, good. Everything's machined really well, no hot spots on this bad boy. With the hammered texture on the face now, which is really easy to do. It took me about probably 20 minutes. Gives enough grip to get really good pulls along the surface if you're into that sort of thing. It's just, the arms aren't long enough to be really weird in terms of trying to catch the outside of the arm or catching in the middle to pull off this guy right here. Fantastic, fantastic fidgeter. World class. And we also get, because of the cutouts, and I guess, you know, this has a lot of similarities. I don't know if I mentioned this last time, to like a Chakra or a Wusa Namaste. Obviously, it's very, very similar looking. It is different enough for me. You know, you've got the raised weights, you've got the big old chamfers, especially since they do it in brass and stuff like that. But they can be in their press fit, so the body is reduced, so it puts a little bit more mass on the outside. If you're into that sort of thing, burnt my finger earlier today. You want to know how I did this? I'll tell you how I did this, just since that came up and it might be relevant. You guys might care. I was taking the bearings out of this. So you know how to take bearings out of ring spinners. What you'll do is you'll heat them up with a hairdryer. And then you'll pop these, you'll use something like this to push it out. So I pushed the bearing out, and then I wasn't sure, one of them, the bearing was a little more rattly than the other. So I put it on my finger to see which one it was the looser one. You know, after hitting it up with a hairdryer, and the hairdryer got it hot enough to burn my finger. I put it on my finger and then immediately regretted that decision. So anyway, don't be stupid. Hairdryers can still get hot enough to make metal hot enough to burn your finger. So anyway, that's not really what we're here for, but you know, we like to tangent and have story time around here. So yeah, so you know, once you put a little custom work in it, I just love spinners all the more. But even before I did the custom work, this thing felt pretty special. So, but it's just completely next level now that it's got a hammered finish. So if you got a smoothie, don't be afraid to hit it with a hammer. Now I should say as well, Full Throttle are in demand right now. They're at Full Throttle right now, pedal to the metal. They're selling out almost immediately with everything they come out with. So it is one of the ones you got to look to the secondary or get in on a drop. And if you're looking to the secondary, they're not crazy over retail, but you're usually going to pay a little over retail for most of them. So yeah, great spinner. I'm trying to think of a negative to say about this guy, and I'm having a hard time thinking of one. Maybe the availability can be the biggest negative if we're trying to be critical, but you know, for the most part, it's just Nick over there, and I'm pretty sure it's a one-man show. And he's, you know, cranking out good spinners when he can, and you know, it is what it is. Doing tungsten, doing mukuri. If you're twisted 420, mukuri. Yeah, look at her. Just look at her go. Just a fantastic fidgeter. The brass is a good weight. Oh, do I have my scale up here? I do have my scale up here. Let's weigh it. We do need to weigh it, don't we? We need to show you guys how much it weighs. Cracking buttons are going to make it a little heavier than it seems. So, but yeah, 82 grams. That's not too shabby, is it? It's not too shabby. Spinner board. successgear.com, y'all. What else? I guess it comes down to recommending, and this is a big old 2 thumbs up, 2 awkward thumbs up. So if you can get it on a drop and get one, definitely get yourself one. It's definitely worth having in the collection. And for me, I think this is definitely one that does benefit from aftermarket buttons. They're doing different buttons now than these aluminum ones. So this isn't necessarily, I don't think you get this. I don't even know if they offer it as an option anymore. I think a lot of times they're either stainless steel flats or have little swirls and stuff like that in it. But I think this is one that both needs and is worthy of a serious button upgrade. So again, we got the cracking buttons on jack hazards. I don't really want to give this back to him. Do I have to? I don't think so. I mean, he sent it to me. Possession is what, 9/10 of the law? Besides, you'll never catch me, copper, see? So yeah, we're stealing it. We're not giving it back, Jack. I'm sorry. I'll tell you what you can do. You can, I was gonna say you can pay me for it, but no, I want to keep it. So no, you can't even pay me for it. I'm keeping it. It's that good. And I think when I was spinning the copper with Rommel, I was thinking like what I would want personally for myself was something like this. And I was thinking the bar in brass, but now that I have this one in brass with a little bit of custom work, I don't know. It might be the Sanitarium, not the Asylum. I don't know. I'm not going to go crazy looking for one. If the right deal comes along at the right time, I would definitely pick it up. So this is one that's not in my collection, but I would definitely like to add. But I'm well over budget right now, so even if they had a drop, I wouldn't be looking for it. And I know I won't get the deal that'll get me in. But yeah, thought you guys would appreciate that. So a little custom work. I wish I had enough spare time to really offer my services out there. It's just so hard. I'm backed up with things I'm even trying to do between reviewing and family stuff and trying to get some painting that I've promised some people and get some more of them woo-saws painted up. Time is limited, but something like this I think is really nice, and I think I do a good job, and I'd like to be able to offer that. So maybe next year, maybe in 2018, we'll get ahead of the game, and I can offer that a little bit for y'all. So if people actually want that sort of thing. So anywho, this has been the, oh, that's kind of a cool spin at 60 frames. Looks like it's just floating there. This has been the Sanitarium Mini Smoothie in Brass by Full Throttle from the Jack Hazard collection. Get in there. There we go. Get that octopus up the right way. All right. Kisses, y'all.